Good evening, Bosses of the Light, and welcome to another edition of Derios' Eerie Endorsements, a series where I talk about games that are perfect for playing around Halloween time. The game we're going to look at in this video is Splatterhouse, Wanpaku Graffiti for the Famicom, and not the NES because this was only released in Japan. I'm not sure what Wanpaku means. Hey Angelos, you have any idea? According to my friend, it's Japanese for naughty, and the word is usually used to describe mischievous children. Ah, thanks. I'm sure some of you might be familiar with the Splatterhouse series. If you aren't, they were a series of side-scrolling action games developed by Namco. We play as a dude named Rick, wearing a possessed hockey mask, as he fought his way through a barrage of creepy enemies. There was also lots of gore on display too. I should probably look at the others sometime, but this game is getting the special treatment now. This game in particular is a spin-off in the series, which released in 1989. Developed by Now Production and published by Namco, obviously, this game has a lighter tone, cute chibi-like visuals, and no gore in sight compared to the other games in the series. I can totally understand why the game was made this way, as Nintendo would never allow a game as gruesome as Splatterhouse on their console, at least back then where they were trying to keep a good family-friendly image as possible. But then again, Monster Party got away with its gruesome imagery. Sorry, I'm rambling again. Let's delve into this title and see what it's all about. The story starts like this. Jennifer, Rick's girlfriend, is mourning over Rick's grave. Wait, he died? But then a lightning bolt hits it and he's brought back to life, much to Jennifer's delight. But then a floating jack-o'-lantern looking thing known as the Pumpkin King is also revived and kidnaps Jennifer. So it's up to Rick to fight through his way through as many enemies, bosses, and pop culture references to save Jennifer. This title, being a spin-off, plays a bit differently from the main games in the series. It's less of a brawler and more of a platformer. The controls are your usual fare. Movement is done with a D-pad, jump with A, and attack with B. And you can enter the occasional door by pressing up. Rick doesn't swing punches like he usually does. In this one he wields an axe. How gruesome! But again, there's no gore to be seen here. You could also attack with a shotgun, but it is a power-up with limited uses, so you have to find it first. One of the most satisfying things you can do is pop a bunch of lead into multiple enemies, thanks to this weapon's huge attack range. Speaking of enemies, this game is crawling with them, and most of them are your usual horror fare. You've got spiders, zombies, pumpkin guys, and sharks? I wonder if Jaws is considered a horror movie. Is Jaws a horror movie? But despite how strong Rick seems to be, taking out all these monsters and stuff, he is near invincible, because when starting off, it only takes a few hits from enemies before he's sent back to his grave. But health can be restored by collecting sweets and burgers, even ones found in bins! Talk about having a garbage diet. You can also increase the size of Rick's health bar by defeating enemies. The counter in the top left corner shows how much mooks you need to mash in order to do so. You could also increase the counter by a ton if you defeat a boss. Speaking of the bosses, some of them are... Okay, remember when I said Rick needs to fight his way through pop culture references? Some of the bosses here are parodies of things from horror movies. I mean, look at this. You've got Thriller in the first stage. There's one which references The Fly, that's a classic. There's a moon rush of spiders that burst out of this woman's chest. I think that one might be a reference to Alien and its chest bursters? Not all of them are satire though. There are some original ones here. I hate the one in the sewer level where you're running against the wind and have to hit the boss while it's sending mooks your way. It goes down in one hit thankfully, but I did lose some of my continues to them. Oh yeah, this game doesn't have lives, just limited continues in a password system. Be careful with the latter, because if you run out of continues and are forced to use a password to carry on, Rick's health meter will be sent back to square one again. There's two hidden levels in the game, one which takes place in Japan, and the other taking place in Egypt. Clearing these areas will give you an orb which allows you to see two additional scenes after the ending, one of which implies this game takes place before the first Splatterhouse. It was a good thing I'm reviewing this one before all the others. And that's everything on Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti, without giving away too much anyway. I didn't want to spoil everything, It's not often you'll find parodies of this caliber in games from this generation, unless we're talking about the Monster Party prototype. That's twice I brought up that game in this video. If you like classic horror movies and old school games, this will be something you'll really enjoy. So, where can you buy it? Well, you could shell out for a second-hand Famicom and card, but this game has been re-released digitally on Namco Museum Archives Volume 1. This is a compilation of some of their NES/Famicom releases. It also says it has a new English translation, but I barely noticed anything different, and there's still Japanese text in plain sight. I know it might be a tough sell to purchase a compilation just to play one game, but think of it like this. Buying this digital compilation will cost you way less than trying to play this game on original hardware. Plus, there's some other neat stuff in this compilation, like the Pac-Man Championship Edition D-Make. I wonder if I should cover some Pac-Man games on here. They do have Ghost after all. Alright, this year's Eerie Endorsements are almost over. I have one more game left I want to cover, and oh boy, do I have things to say about that one. You guys might get some entertainment from that video, but I will nay. I'd better end things here as I'm just delaying the inevitable. So thank you for watching, stay safe, and happy Halloween!